Sasha urges Cody to tell Mac he's his father. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel General Hospital Update. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Sasha urges Cody to tell Mac that he's his father, and Sonny tries to make amends with Christina General Hospital. Alexis gives Laura her legal opinion on Heather's case. TJ and Molly fight about Christina, and Sonny has something to say to Jason. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. After the cigars, as all four soaps explode surprise kids storylines, here's what's next. Alexis arrives at Laura's office, and the mayor confronts her about her paper publishing an article on her trying to get Heather free. Alexis says that was Adrian's doing, and while she doesn't approve of his tactics, she does believe in freedom of the press. Laura says the First Amendment doesn't allow you to screen fire in a crowded theater, and that's what that article was doing. She then hands the court records over to Alexis that she needed to advise her on Heather's case. Alexis looks over them and thinks there is a grounds for an appeal. Laura says she doesn't want Heather to go free, but the metallosis may have factored into her crimes. Alexis says she's still not a lawyer, so she'll have to find someone else to help her, but notes a good lawyer would find a way to reopen Heather's case. Laura asks if she can recommend a lawyer. Alexis will have to give it thought, but warns her that by setting this in motion, she may not be able to predict how it turns out. The bottom line, Heather could get a lesser sentence, she may be moved to another facility, or she may be freed. Laura says freeing Heather is the last thing she wants for the families of her victims. Alexis suggests she drop it and not follow through with this. Laura can't just leave Heather in a supermax for life. Alexis admits that for once she is glad she isn't a lawyer. Laura asks what the old Alexis would say about this. Alexis says the old Alexis would say if the justice system decided Heather should get a lesser sentence or even go free, she'd say let the law take its course. Trina drops by and Alexis heads out. Laura guesses she knows why Trina is here, but Trina says, I don't think you do. T stops by Molly's office and finds Molly leaving a message with her mom checking in on how Christina is. T asks why she doesn't just go to Christina directly. Molly explains she's been keeping a secret about Christina, and he has a right to know. She fills him in on what happened with Sonny, Dex, and Jason, and that she found out about it not from Christina, but by interrogating Blaze. T thanks her for finally telling him, and he wants to go lecture Christina to stop being careless regarding this baby. Molly says he can't do that, but TJ says until this baby is born that Christina has to stay away from her father. Molly says he can't run over and confront her as it will make things worse. Tay says none of this would have happened if they used a surrogate, but she had to have Christina, and now she is making decisions for their baby. Jess Phillips jeered during acceptance speech. Molly argues he had a choice too, and he agreed to use Christina. Tay says he wanted to make her happy, and everything in him said they should wait and use a surrogate. Tay says he wanted her to be happy, and she so wanted to have a baby. Tay rants that by using Christina they are tied to her and her erratic father Sonny for life, so is she happy now? Molly admits she wanted a biological connection to the child, and he doesn't get how that feels as the baby was always going to have half his DNA. She says if he wants an apology, he won't get one from her. She says Christina is very fragile right now, and they need to let her get through this pregnancy without upsetting her or else. Tay tells her to say it. Molly admits, what if Christina backs out of their agreement and keeps the baby, as there is nothing stopping her? He says she's not wrong, and the law is on Christina's side, and this is such a nightmare. Molly cries, how did we get here? All we wanted. T says, be careful what you wish for, I guess. He leaves to go to the hospital. Molly breaks down after he walks out. Sonny shows up at Christina's place. Blaze answers the door, and Christina sees him and freezes. He asks if he can come in and talk. He enters and has a gift bag with him. Sonny tells Christina that he owes her an apology, and what she saw was unacceptable, ugly, and vicious, and he never wanted her to see that part of him. She tells her father, but I did see it. Sonny says the expression on her face that night, he just can't stop thinking about it. He knows he had a lot of rage that night, and he doesn't know what got into them. He says it's not an excuse, and he's sorry, and he only followed her to the lady's room to explain to her. He says when she recoiled from him, it was as if she was scared of him, and he never wanted that. He says he doesn't blame her, and that isn't how he should act. He also thanks Blaze for being there and comforting her. Blaze says she has some calls to make and heads into the kitchen. Alone, Sonny says they'd always been honest with one another, so if she wants him to leave and never come back, he will. Christina says she thought she knew him, and she couldn't believe that the man attacking Dex was the same loving father she grew up with. She thought she was watching a stranger, that it was a dream, but then she realized it was real and everything everyone said about him was true. Sonny insists that's not who he is, but Christina wants to know what happened. Sonny explains Dex worked for him, he betrayed him, and then he showed up at the wedding as if he belonged there. Sonny says he told Dex to stay away from him, and he refused. He explained he walked away. Dex grabbed his arm, and he snapped. He claims he's not proud of it, but he lost his temper, he lost control. He promises it will never happen again. Christina knows about losing one's temper, she has one too, and probably got it from him. Sonny tells her that she's the best part of him, he needs her, and he loves her. He wants her to know he'll never hurt her. Christina wants the truth from him. When he said he was going to kill Jason and Dex, did he mean it? Sonny only says that he met with Dex and struck a truce with him. Sonny tells her that nothing is worth the cost of losing her. She cries she doesn't want to lose him either. Sonny says it won't happen, and even if she never wanted to see him again, he'd still be her father and cheer her from afar. He swears he'll love her until his dying breath. Sonny brought a present for the baby and hands her the bag. She opens it, and it's Mickey Mouse from Fantasia. She says she had one like him when she was little. Sonny says that's because he got it for her and she never wanted to be apart from it. He asks how the baby is, and Christina says they are good. He says he should get going, and hope he sees her soon. He then heads out. Blaze returns and finds Christina crying. She explains the man who just came here was the man she always knew and loved, which is why it's so confusing. She tells her about the gift Sonny brought, which is identical to the one he gave her as a child. Blaze says he's her father, and it's obvious he loves her, no matter what he's done. Christina admits she loves him too. She knows this little one will love this gift as much as she did. Blaze admits sometimes she wishes this was their baby. At the Metro Court pool, Cody spreads tanning lotion on Sasha's back, and they relax in the sun. Cody says it was nice of Olivia to comp them today. Cody orders them 2 mock mojitos, and Gio tells Sasha he really loves her cooking. She thanks him for the compliment. Carly arrives and welcomes Gio to the pool crew and says Olivia sings his praises. Joss says he is doing a great job, even if it is a waste of his talents. Gio says he is enjoying folding towels. Carly excuses herself when Jason shows up. Gio thinks Jason looks familiar, and Joss says he used to be a quartermain, so he might have seen a photo of him at the house. Later, Joss says Gio is doing a great job, and even Sasha is impressed by him. Gio asks how she knows Sasha, and she explains Sasha used to date her brother Michael. Gio knows he's the guy who lives in the gatehouse. Sasha notes Cody is getting red, so it's her turn to apply some lotion. She notices a nasty bruise on his legs, and he says he had to rescue James from a riding accident in the making, and Comet got him. Sasha can tell he loves that boy. His eyes light up when he talks about him, and James loves him too. Sasha says imagine how happy James would be to know he's his uncle. Cody thinks he's kept the secret for so long that Mac wouldn't trust him if he told him. Sasha gets it. She lied to Nina for months about being her daughter, but they got past it. She asks him to give Mac a chance to forgive him. Cody wants to come clean, but doesn't know if he's brave enough. She reminds him that he saved her from Dr. Montague and broke her out of Ferncliff. Cody is just afraid of disrupting the family and revealing the secret that Felicia did a secret DNA test. Sasha says he's making excuses, and it's hard to maintain a lie forever, and telling the truth was freeing for her. She suggests it could be for him too. Carly hugs Jason and is glad to see he's well. She says it's been 2 days since the shooting, and she thought he was going to disappear again. He explains he went out of town on coffee business, and when he got back, Jake called as Liz had some problems. Carly asks about the shooting and relays that Sonny insists it wasn't him. Jason confirms that but doesn't want her involved. She asks if it could happen again and if it was because he's an FBI informant. Jason again asks her to let it go. Carly says at least they know it wasn't Sonny, and she believes Sonny was worried about him. Suddenly, Sonny arrives and sees Carly with Jason. Sonny approaches them and says Brick told him that Jason was targeted. He assumes Anna thinks he ordered the hit and asks if he thinks it too. Jason admits he did it first, but he wasn't going to get them up. He knows now Sonny didn't send the hitman. Sonny is glad Jason believes him. Sonny says part of him wants to trust him again, but he can't, and he walks away. General Hospital. Curtis visits Heather. Trina and Laura discuss Heather, and Alexis confronts Adrian. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel.